This is the Schwinn Fitness IC Indoor Cycling Bike Series, and I'm making this video because I kept getting asked what I actually use at home and what's held up after months of real rides. I've lived with the IC4 and spent a lot of time on the IC3 as well, and I wanted to share what matters once the honeymoon phase is over and the sweat starts hitting the frame. The quick context is that this series is all about solid hardware with an open, bring-your-own-device approach. If you want a big built-in screen and a locked ecosystem, this isn't that. If you want sturdy mechanics, a quiet ride, and the freedom to use Peloton, Zwift, Apple Fitness Plus, or nothing but a timer, this is in that sweet spot of price versus performance. I see the IC4 as the connected option and the IC3 as the analog studio-style option. My everyday ride is the IC4. The first thing that struck me is the feel. The flywheel has enough heft that the pedal stroke stays smooth at both low cadence climbs and fast sprints. No choppy dead spots, even when I'm grinding at a heavy load. The belt drive is legit quiet. In my place, I can ride late without waking anyone, and the loudest thing is usually my breathing. Stability is better than I expected for a home bike. With the leveler set right, the frame doesn't wander during out-of-the-saddle pushes. If your floor is uneven, take the extra 2 minutes to level it properly. That tiny tweak kills a lot of mystery creaks and knocks. Resistance on the IC4 is magnetic with 100 levels, and that's been great for repeatability. If a climb felt right at level 45 one week, I can go back to level 45 next week and know what I'm getting. I will say the jumps aren't totally even. The top end rants fast, so the last 10 levels feel like a big leap. Also, if level 0 feels heavy out of the box, don't panic. Mine arrived a bit off, and a quick calibration plus a small cable adjustment made it normal. It's worth doing early so you build your training around accurate feel. I use this bike with the Peloton app and Zwift. On Peloton, the bike sends cadence nicely, and the included heart rate band pairs fine. You won't see your Schwinn resistance or power inside the Peloton app, so you'll either glance down at the tiny console, or ride by feel. There's a learning curve translating Peloton's resistance calls to Schwinn's numbers. I printed a tiny conversion sticker at first, and then eventually stopped looking, matching the coach's cadence and effort instead of the exact number. On Zwift, the IC4 will broadcast power, but it's estimated, not a true strain gauge measurement. For solo workouts or group rides, it's fine. For competitive racing, the numbers can be off. I've used a third-party bridge app called QZ to tighten up the power curve, and it made the data feel more honest. But even without that, the experience is solid, as long as you're not chasing official race results. The bike doesn't auto-adjust resistance in Zwift, so you still turn the knob when the gradient kicks up. Personally, I like the manual control. It keeps me engaged. Comfort and touch points matter more than spec sheets. The stock saddle is a classic, narrow, firm studio seat. I tolerated it for 2 weeks, then swapped to a road saddle I know my sit bones like. Instant upgrade. The dual-sided pedals are handy. I clip in with SPD shoes on workout days, and the toe cages work when I'm lazy and wearing sneakers. If clipping in feels sticky at first, loosen the tension screw on the pedal a quarter turn. The handlebar coating has good grip, but sweat breaks it down over time. Mine started getting tacky, so I wrapped it with bar tape, and it's been perfect since. One small annoyance: if you put a large tablet on the media shelf, it can block the little console. My fix was to use a mid-sized tablet, and I give the bar clamp a snug tighten to reduce wobbles when sprinting. Maintenance has been light. Belt dust showed up in the guard during the first month. Normal bedding in stuff. I popped the cover off and wiped it clean. I keep a towel over the bars and wipe down the posts after rides to avoid sweat corrosion, especially on the chrome sliders. The only real watch this tip I'll give during assembly is the left pedal. It's reverse threaded. Hand thread it all the way first, then tighten properly. If it goes in crooked or too loose, you'll destroy the crank threads over time. I use a little grease or blue thread locker, and it's never bunged. Now, the IC3. I've put plenty of time on it too, and it's a different vibe. It's friction pad resistance, so you use the knob without numbered levels. That's great for old-school ride-by-feel workouts, and it keeps the bike simple and power cord free. It does make it harder to follow coaches who call out exact numbers, and as the pad warms up, the feel can drift a touch. You'll hear a soft shush from the pad, and if it dries out, it can squeal until you refresh it. If you want absolute silence and precise repeatability, that's where the IC4 wins. If you want a straightforward, durable studio feel, and you don't care about connecting to apps, the IC3 can be a satisfying workhorse. Compared to what I used before, I came from a chain-drive friction bike that was loud and needed constant attention. The Schwinn belt system feels night and day quieter, and basically maintenance-free by comparison. On the other end, I've spent time on the pricier, fully integrated bikes at studios and at friends' homes. Those are polished, no question. You get polished metrics on a giant screen, and you never think about pairing or conversion charts. But you're also tied to one platform. With the IC4, I can hop between Peloton, Zwift, and Apple Fitness Plus without being stuck, and that flexibility has kept me riding more consistently. A couple benefits that actually matter day to day. The ride quality is smooth and quiet enough that I don't have to schedule my workouts around other people in the house. The open platform connectivity means my training isn't stuck in one app, and if I get bored, I switch programs instead of letting the bike collect dust. And the magnetic resistance levels give me enough control to repeat workouts and track progress without overthinking it. Value-wise, the IC4 hits a really nice balance. I get premium feeling mechanics and the freedom to use whatever content keeps me motivated. If you're data obsessed and need dead accurate watts and auto resistance, you might want a different setup or add a dedicated power meter to your crank or pedals. For most home riders who want a reliable, quiet, connected experience, it's absolutely worth it. The IC3 makes sense if you want a simpler, more affordable path to sweaty, effective rides, and you don't care about pairing apps or precise numbers. That's my honest take after a lot of real miles. If you've got questions I didn't cover, or you want me to compare specific apps or accessories, drop them in the comments. If this video helped, hit subscribe for more straight-up home fitness reviews and tips.